And I received an email about the week before last from Lindsay Ronnie of the Celtic Harriers Running Club. And she told me about this incredible individual by the name of Denver van der Bergh. And Denver is an individual who was battling drug and alcohol addiction for 25 years and decided to turn his life around. He's been sober now for 5 years and decided that he needed to take part in what he calls a serenity run, which involved him running approximately 1,687 kilometers from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg and culminating in the 90-kilometer Comrades Ultramarathon over this past weekend and over the span of about 35 days. And every step towards hope, every kilometer sends a message. Transformation is possible no matter where you start. And I have the honor and the privilege of having him in studio this afternoon. Denver, welcome to KFM Lunch.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And it's nice to meet you, Ibi. And also hi to all the listeners out there.
My first question is, how are the legs?
The legs are a bit sore, that is to be expected, but surprisingly not as bad as I thought. I mean, I was actually thinking of running back to Cape Town again after the race.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just joking.
First, I think the second question would be, why? Why did you decide to do this?
Like you said, I'm a recovering addict, but I have overcome addiction with the help, obviously, of, Ramot, which is the rehab that I went to in Paro. So I just wanted to prove that, recovery is possible. And, anything is possible if you believe in it, somebody needed to sort of make a stand, because I also want other people that's also overcome the same sort of adversity to also stand up and shine their light, like I'm shining my light through this entire journey, just to sort of spread a little hope. I mean, there's so much despair and there's so much, suffering, especially in our communities, and just to spread a little bit of hope, And also I wanted to do it to raise funds as well to, for those that can't afford it, because, you get your unregistered rehabs, that give rehabs a bad name, so it creates a bad stigma around it, like rehabs, because I didn't want to go to rehab initially, because I thought that would be the last place that I'd ever want to go to, because it's for junkies and it's for, not for me. But the registered rehabs are very effective. I mean, it saved my life, but it is expensive. That's the problem. So I wanted to raise funds just to afford someone else also an opportunity at a second chance in life, just like I was afforded that opportunity.
We always hear, when it comes to those battling addiction, that when they get to the path of recovery, there was always a rock bottom moment that they hit, and there was a decision then to turn it around. I've heard of a celebrity recently where the rock bottom moment for them was where they were scratching in their own bin looking for, leftover cocaine. And then they asked themselves, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And that was the rock bottom moment where they decided, I need to make a change. What was that rock bottom moment for you?
See, so for me, I grew up on the Cape Flats, so basically in poverty. So I didn't have much hope, so I lost hope and I had a few knocks early on in life. So that caused me to not care about, what I do and how I treat myself. That's when I started smoking, drinking, doing drugs and clubbing. And initially it was fun. It was, I was just playing around and having a good time. I had lots of friends and it was just going lekker, And I always thought that I was in control, and if I want, I can stop at any time. But then one day I decided, okay, let's try and stop, because you said you can stop. And then I realized I couldn't. I even moved overseas. I tried to take myself out of my environment, but like they say, where you go, there you are. And then, I tried a few times. It didn't work. And then I sort of became a bit depressed. I started finding me doing it alone. When I was sitting in bars next to my dealer, and then just doing it on my own. And then I thought, no, Denver, come on, this is not you. What's happening? What's going on? And then I became really, really depressed to the point where I reached my rock bottom, and I actually made an attempt on myself because I wanted to end it all. I just didn't want to go on anymore. I was out partying once again. I was sitting next to my dealer and stuff. And I was supposed to work the next day. So the attempt didn't come off, but I still didn't go to work the next day. And then my manager at work, he was calling me and sending me messages to ask where I am. I didn't respond because I didn't care, but he kept on and on and on. And eventually I gave in and I sent him a message and I said, listen, yeah, I don't care anymore. So what? I was out last night. I was doing drugs. You guys can do whatever you want. And then he still kept on and he said, then, but just please come in. We're just going to have a chat and we'll see what we can do. I went in and it turned out to be an intervention.
I see.
So there sat the GM, the HR manager, and the manager, and they were like, listen here, Denver, we're going to put this on the cards, ultimatum. So either you face disciplinary action or you can go to rehab. So like I said, that's the last place I wanted to go to. But they said to me, look, the rehab is completely paid for, plus you're still going to get your salary.
Wow.
And it's 5 weeks you're going to sort of be there. So I was like, okay, this is my way out here. You know, it's a no-brainer. So I said, yes, okay. And I went to rehab not knowing that it would actually change my life forever.
That's incredible. Well, I mean, I've never done the Comrades. I've done a full marathon before, and with every race, like halfway through, I'm asking myself, why am I doing this? So why did I decide to put myself through this? But you ran nearly 1,700 kilometers. So what kept you going? What kept you? Were you also asking yourself, like, why did I decide to do this?
No, so basically what kept me going was just the amazing support. My family, my friends, Celtic Harriers, my running club, they were sort of behind me. Ramot, the rehab center that I was at, they were fully invested and supported me since day one. Also, my dad passed away last year.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and I think he would have been so proud. But, you know, that's one of the things that I'm so happy about. You know, one of my biggest achievements since being sober was to actually mend a broken relationship with my dad. And also to make him proud, because I also put myself back into school and I got a degree, cum laude, in business administration.
That's fantastic. Congrats.
Currently working as an intern in one of the top, investment companies in South Africa. So I could feel my dad, one of his last words was, Denver, just remember when you're running out there that I'm running next to you. So I could really feel him. So he was with me, as well as many others. The support was just absolutely amazing. I mean, there were times when I sort of felt like, giving up. But then I realized that, this thing it's bigger than me. This is not just about me. I've got the opportunity and the blessing and the honor to actually do something to inspire others. And giving up was just not an option.
Not an option at all. And so, running from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg, then also taking part in that's another grueling race as well, 90 kilometers. How did you feel once you finally crossed the finish line?
First of all, everybody was saying before the race that, it's going to be a piece of cake after running for so many kilometers before that. But what people didn't realize is, it's tired legs that I was running on. I had a lot of kilometers in those legs. So even for me, when I started, I wanted to go push a bit faster, but then I soon realized that no, the legs are tired. Let's just get through. Let's just get through it. And you forget the comrades. There's a reason why they call it the ultimate human race. That race tests you on all levels. So it'll test you to your soul.
I can only imagine that. And would you do it again? Would you do all of this again?
Oh no, absolutely. If it reaches the target or the goal that it's supposed to, then most definitely. And the goal has always been to sort of create awareness around the stigmas around addiction and that recovery is possible. And at anything that you put your mind to, it's amazing what the physical body can do and achieve. It's only you and your mind that can stop you and set sort of boundaries.
Yeah. So you are your own worst enemy, like everybody keeps saying. So, or your own biggest critic as well.
That's it, yes. And also in that comrades, that's where that gets tested.
You're the mental fortitude and not just the physical one. You are an amazing individual, Denver. Thank you so much for coming through this afternoon, sharing your story, sharing your strength, and just that willingness to show us all and to teach us all that It doesn't matter how far down the depths of that abyss you've gone down, you can still turn it around. You can make a change. But it is up to you, ultimately, to make that change. Denver, thank you so much. You, sir, are truly an inspiration.
The most music
For your workday.
with EB English, KFM.
Yeah. 94.5.